Let's check in with Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine.
Every difficulty there is a reminder of just how much the Russians want to destroy everyone here.
Little Joe Lindsley.
Joe Lindsley is quickly becoming an American treasure in broadcasting.
Welcome to Ukraine Bank.
Russia's new offensive seems to be gaining momentum. Kyiv is struggling to contain the front, and Ukrainian President Zelensky has canceled all upcoming foreign trips, which seems to be a signal of how seriously the country is taking the advancing Russian military. Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine. Let's ask Joe now what the situation is at the moment. How are things, Joe?
Well, Bob, good afternoon from LVIV. And at this moment, I just had reports that there are explosions on the outskirts of Kharkiv city, which also happened a few hours ago. And Kharkiv was also hit about midnight last night. And we do have some indications where there's a lot of chatter that it seems that Russian troops could be amassing near some other regions, near the Sumy region and Chernihiv. So this is in between Kyiv and Kharkiv. So everyone is watching that pretty closely. And meanwhile, today is Veshivanka Day, which is the Ukrainian holiday for shirts, for the embroidered garments that the Ukrainians wear. I know you all at WGN, you can wear them today. And when I was first here in the full scale war, I thought, well, surely no one's going to celebrate. It's a holiday, right? No one's going to wear these garments until victory. I think thinking as an American or as an Irish, someone of Irish heritage, but actually here in Ukraine, they love celebrations and holidays and holy days, and they never let that go. So if you walk around Kyiv or Kharkiv or Lviv today, you'll see almost everyone wearing their traditional embroidered garments, and a sign of their spirit, even though there's great heaviness and great difficulty. And I think everyone is working with very focused energy right now to get extra supplies to the soldiers at the front. Just in our team, we were working to get a batch of drones to warriors in Kharkiv region, and most people are really focused on this right now because they know how difficult it is. And I saw a video yesterday of it was a video from Russian social media, Russian Telegram channels in the region called Belgorod, that's right across from Kharkiv. So it's from that region that the Russians have made this incursion into the Kharkiv Oblast. And in the video, it's a highway, and traffic is stopped, and someone is filming from their vehicle, and the traffic has stopped in Russia so that the rocket launcher can attack Ukraine. And it's an astounding thing to see. And just imagine you were in one of those cars, and you just stop and see it. I mean, you have to be aware of what's happening. And then there's the other fact is there's not a single chance that anyone, the reason why it's okay to have traffic near the rocket launcher is because the Russians know Ukrainians cannot attack. They're not allowed to. They can't use American weapons to hit back. And so it's like almost like you're sitting at a McDonald's while someone next to you is shooting a Ukrainian. And it's just part of their life. And it's really, you think about, I was talking with some volunteers and supporters of Ukraine yesterday on this Twitter space called Maria Report. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, conversation about Ukraine. And this really stuck in people's mind. And, imagine yourself in that situation. Do you accept that evil? And really, that silence, when everyone has that silence itself becomes a weapon and permits all this evil. And I think the consensus we had in our conversation was, in all of our societies, let's not let things get to that point where all of a sudden there's a great amount of evil and you feel helpless to stop it. And it really became I think there's a regular conversation here in Ukraine about how not to let the anger and the hatred, how not to let it poison you. And you have to kill the invader and the enemy, but you never want to become subhuman. You never want to become bloodthirsty. And seeing the Russians sort of accept this is a painful thing, but it's also a clear reminder of we're starting to see a little bit of change in rhetoric from some Biden administration officials, from Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense. I think Anthony Blinken, when he was here the other day, he had a very serious meeting with President Zelensky. And we talked yesterday how he was playing music with Ukrainians in an underground bar. I think he wants to do everything he can to support it. So we're starting to see a slight change in rhetoric that maybe, that Ukrainians could use these American weapons to hit the Russians before they enter Ukrainian territory. And that's really that's. I think there's a heavy feeling that in a few hours there could be another invasion in another region between Kyiv and Kharkiv, but Ukrainians just simply have to sit and wait. But if you look to the south, if you look to the Crimean Peninsula, you can see the benefits of being able to attack Russian positions further away with long-range weapons. We have reports from Crimean pro-Ukraine Crimean partisans that Ukrainians hit a major Russian depot in the occupied Crimean Peninsula yesterday. And what the word is that seemed to be a depot that contains lots of missiles, the very missiles that Russia uses to hit places like Odessa. And so because the U.S. has indeed given permission for Ukraine to hit Russian targets in Crimea, we are actually seeing some good success there. And we're seeing that the city of Odessa seems to be much more well protected than it was several weeks ago. And so the argument here is if the same principle can be applied in the south, why not in the northeast for a place like Kharkiv?
Joe, all the stories we're getting about the Russians and cyber attacks now, every time we connect in the morning, I'm grateful. But I keep thinking, isn't it amazing that we're still able to do this, that you're able to communicate like this? You ever think about that?
Oh, I do a lot because I have 3 different internet connections available at all times, multiple phones. And just before we connected today, I had to switch. It's very difficult very often to stay connected. And the infrastructure is very, very, significantly weakened. In many Ukrainian cities, there are now late night power outages to conserve power because the Russians have so precisely targeted the energy structure and the communications grid. And so it's a miracle that we're still able to do it, but it is getting pretty difficult. And it's a reminder of every difficulty there is a reminder of just how much the Russians want to destroy everyone here, anyone that's ever stood up for Ukraine. The Chechen leader, Kadyrov, he's the leader of the Russian sort of province of Chechnya. He said this within the past 24 hours. I think it was this morning. I believe we have to attack more active. Oh, did we lose connection?
And just as we're talking about it, we lost the connection. Look at that. I shouldn't have said anything. I think I jinxed it. I wanted to share a text with Joseph to close today. I'll read it anyway here. Thanks, Bob, for having the daily updates with Joseph. He is a true professional and truly cares. This invasion of Ukraine is so tragic and avoidable. God bless Joseph and all the innocent people involved.
Thank you for introducing Ukraine on your social media pages. That's very important that much more people can get more information about the situation here and how everybody can help Ukraine to stay stronger and to save all the world.
Что он сказал?
Well, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Come on now. Oh, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Ебать.